Hey guys, gonna have to bear with me today. I've got a super sore throat. I'm really sorry about the video the other day. I think I forgot. Well, no, I don't think I forgot. I forgot to put my mic on. I am a bloody idiot. So, I apologise again for that. So I'm going to attempt to do it again. So you can hear what I had to say. So at the moment, I'm on the Sussex Squad podcast. I'm going to go a little bit further than I did last time. Okay. So on this website, they've got the Sussex Squad is undefeated. But they've got podcast episodes. They've got global opportunities, life advice. Oh, hold on. They've moved the hate letter. Wait, there used to be a hate letter on here. Support advice for blah blah blah. Sussex Squad is undefeated. There was a letter to our haters. And now it's gone. It's gone. Did I get them to remove it? Huh. Let's go on here. Close that down because we're not. It's weird that they've got all these adverts on their website, isn't it? The Sussex Squad is undefeated. I said what I said. As a group, we have raised over $600,000 to help organisations, which I commend. It's always good to help charity. Encounter private donations that can't be recorded. Encounter private donations. Those donations are probably the ones to Archwell, the ones where Meghan and Harry pocket 95% and the charity gets the 5%. No one in the royal family since Diana has ever inspired this much generosity. Well, that's an absolute lie because you may have risen $600,000 for charity, but our Queen just donated £1 million, and I felt like I don't know how to do the calculations from dollars to pounds, but I'm sure that's a lot more. I think that's about 1 point. Well, I don't know anyway. I know it's a lot more anyway. So yeah, that's a lie. As for the rest of the royal families, I know William and Catherine also donated. So, another lie. Okay. Inspired this much generosity. And while Diana had a lot of people who loved her, what we've created with the squad is a community. I have to hang this up. As a community is totally new and unique in terms of how royal watchers interact as a group. We, a new generation of royal watchers, well, yous don't really royal watch, do yous? Yous kind of like put Meghan and Harry, who were technically more so Meghan that used to, who was technically a royal for maybe 2 years. And then the rest of the royal family, you slag off, so you aren't really royal watchers. We don't just watch, we do, yeah, you certainly do, you threaten to kill Catherine and William's children, you want to see them burned alive, you want Prince Andrew to interfere with Charlotte, you want Prince Philip to be burning in hell, you wish death upon our Queen. So yeah, I guess yous do, so yeah, but yous do it in the most vile, disgusting way. We're not interested in ribbon cutting and hand waving. Well, unfortunately, I don't think many royal family are, but that's what goes with the job, you know. That's why hospitals are named after them, and that's just what public servants do, you know. Being a princess isn't all about walking about in a gown and a tiara like bloody Cinderella. It's about doing public work. We are dedicated to active community service, personal growth, and giving generously, both to Sussex-related causes. Well, I thought you were royal watchers. Why just the Sussex causes, you know? And causes that we individually choose to support. And I have kind of noticed these are all the causes that you choose to support all seem to be causes that Meghan picks, you know. Within the Sussex Squad, I have even seen friendships being formed. You know, yeah, like bully groups being formed, more like people who need help being aided in their time of need. And just so much positivity and joy. User about as positive as a chocolate watch, and wearing a chocolate watch in the sun, okay? Positivity and joy. You bring horror to people. You know, people are scared to go on Twitter and scared to even comment one word concerning Harry and Meghan because everyone knows you're going to mass report that person. It doesn't matter if that person's a small Twitter account. It doesn't matter if it comes from a large, even YouTube account. We know as soon as we say something about your faves, our Twitter account is gone because you mass report. Then there's the fact that you are now like moved on to YouTube to do it. Mass report channels are gone. Then there's the fact that when people actually do say something about Harry and Meghan, you jump on them like a band of Rottweilers and like tear that tweet apart. You call them names. We get called everything under the sun. Your favourite word to use is racist, you know. I just wish you'd put that card back in your back pocket. Because or that we're hateful, we hate Meghan and Harry. No, we don't hate them. As I said before, we don't hate them, we detest them. We despise them. We despise what they've done to our country, our queen, and more. So, as for saying that yous are positive, yeah. If yous are positive, I'm Willy Wonka, you know. So here we are. We're in a group of people who have been inspired by our faves. I love how they call them their faves, eh? It's like their name, the Sussex Squad. Which group honestly could say that a group of middle-aged women would openly call themselves Sussex Squad? It's like, yeah, it's the most ridiculous name I've ever heard for a fandom. You know, you may as well call yourselves the bloody Suicide Squad because the amount of people that you take down is unbelievable. Okay, so here we go. Inspired our faves to do good in the world. And Harry and Meghan can be proud of that. Be proud of what? What have they done? Someone please explain to me, what has Meghan and Harry done? Because I'm curious to know. They went to a school in Harlem, gave out a couple of boxes of rotten vegetables, and her dire book, The Bench, which is just horrible. It's so bad that it's been sold for £1 now. You know, it's been marked down that much that they can't even give it away for £1. Soon they'll be paying customers £1 to take it, you know. And even then, we'll be like, no, thank you. No, thank you. But what else have they done? You know, they've raised money on the backs of their fans and pocketed 95% and gave 5% to charity. They paid to win an award that was sponsored by their own PR firm, Sunshine Ballsacks. Let's see what else they have done. Oh yeah, they handed out some food during the pandemic, two bags, and also called the paparazzi to make sure they got the picture of them handing out this bag to this family. They went to a school, you know, and demanded the school put on a private jet for them to get there. The school said no, but they still went, give them their due. But do you know how long they stayed for? 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And of course they had to play again the Diana card by planting her favourite flowers, forget-me-nots. You don't see William droning on and on about his mum. I lost my mum. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. I lost my mum at a young age. And yeah, while it was hard, I don't do everything. Absolutely everything. And I'm trying to word this right. I don't do everything, absolutely everything, while her memory lives on through her children. We don't invoke her memory in everything that we do, you know. We don't say, oh, we're doing this because of blah, blah, blah. There's a time where we grieved, and then we had to, and my mum even said this, grieve and move on, live your lives. Harry hasn't done that. Harry's using the memory of his mum. And so's Megan, which is disgusting. We shouldn't even know Diana. To make money, which is, yeah, it's just diabolical. Diabolical. So what else have they wrote here? They're proud of it, blah, 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 blah. When the COVID panic hit, we knew that our community needed and created several resources to help people with job hunting and career pivots. At a time when so many people were losing their livelihoods, we did our 40 by 40 minutes before it was a thing. Oh, wait a now. So Megan plagiarised from her own fans. That's really interesting. Here along, we're obviously, we think she's obviously plagiarised from Barack Obama. But they're saying right here, we did our 40 by 40 minutes before it was a thing. Let me just tell you this, Sussex Squad. 40 by 40 by Megan was never a thing. Nobody did it. She mentioned it on her birthday. And after that, crickets. Absolute crickets. Because who wants to be lectured by millionaires sitting in their mansion for 40 minutes on how to find a job? No one. No one wants to be criticised by that, you know. If somebody phoned me, who was a millionaire, sitting in their mansion, telling me how I can go about getting a job, I would simply answer by saying, excuse my language here, but fuck off, and put the phone down. So it's kind of interesting here that she's actually plagiarised from her own fans. If that was used, I would be annoyed. She didn't even mention using her 40 by 40, you know. She never says, I got this from my fans. No, Yous were brushed aside because she doesn't care about yous. She just doesn't. All she cares about is that yous put that level of protection around her. You know, if anyone says anything, she knows she's got her little Rottweilers out there that'll deal with it. So, yeah, that just shows she doesn't give a crap about you. The Sussex Squad have been so powerful as a tool to defend the Sussexes. Yeah, you have been powerful as a tool. You have been powerful as bullies. You've been powerful as just a negative force. You haven't defended them. What you have done is you've silenced people from having an opinion. You've silenced people who do not like your faves. And you claim it's because of hatred, and that's not because of hatred. It's not because of hatred. You can't hate somebody you don't know. It's because we despise them, and we despise what they stand for. Okay, so, yeah. They call us Russian bots. No one's called you Russian bots. no one that I came from. I think that's living in your head, you know. Tried to claim that we were paid for. Listen, I've never claimed that you were paid for. I'm skeptical that yous are, you know. I don't know if yous are paid for, but I definitely believe Scooby-Doo and Boozy Boy is. But I'm not claiming that yous are. And I know why yous put those tweets out saying that yous haven't got paid. He's done it to try and troll and blah, 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 and hoping people would take the bait. I never did, you know, because I knew exactly what he's doing, because he's are a bunch of trolls. They call us derogatory terms to describe us, terms like sugars, and it just hasn't worked. Do you want me to tell you why that we are known as the sugars? Yous are called the sugars because yous drink the Megan sweetener, you know. So yous drink the Megan tea full of Megan sweetener and sugar or whatever, lapping up everything that she says and believing everything that she says to be true. This is why yous are called the sugars. It's not a derogatory term. It's nothing to do with race. Nothing like that. It's because yous are basically suckling at Megan's boob. Boob. Suckle at Megan's teat. More sugar, mummy, please. More sugar. Give us more. You know, that's why we call it use the sugar. We come back stronger every time, and we don't only support our faves, we build and uplift each other. The only reason you can come back stronger is because you are removing people. That's the only reason. You don't like it when there's opposition out there against Harry and Meghan, and I've seen it. I've seen you go bad shit when someone criticises your faves, you know. I've seen your tactics, you know. You just lose your damn minds. No one can ever say anything negative about your faves. And if they do, oh God help them, you know. This pile of bloody Rottweilers is just going to jump on them and tear them apart. So, here we go. So, uplift each other. So, why has this community gone from strength to strength, despite all efforts from the powerful forces? Powerful? We're not powerful, you know. We're just, having an opinion about how Meghan and Harry have, just totally crapped all over our country, you know. I'm an ex-military person, okay? And I can recall when Harry said that he would always support veterans. He would always support, especially veterans' mental health. He would support veterans who were homeless. And he's done none of that. None of that. do you know, like, when Harry was in Afghanistan, like, he had, like, this nickname called Bunker Harry, because, like, that's where he was most of the time, playing, like, his little, I can't remember, little PlayStation or whatever. I think one of his favourite games was, like, Call of Duty or something like that. But when he would went out and patrol, you know, like, there would be thousands, there would be drones overhead, he'd have his own protection guards, and they would only take him to places where they knew the Taliban weren't, you know, so he didn't really do anything over there. So then when he got back, and he chose to, yes, and he was sung this, like, military hero. But, you know, you remember that, there's a video of him, and he's been interviewed, and, like, an alarm goes off, and he's running towards, the helicopter. As if, and he jumps in the pilot's seat. Harry was never a pilot. He was never a pilot. He controlled, he was the person who controlled the guns in the back of the helicopter. I'm just trying to put this in layman's terms. He didn't know how to fly a helicopter. William knows how to fly a helicopter. Andrew knows how to fly a helicopter. Andrew actually, regardless how people feel about him, Andrew was a hero in the Falklands War. He would fly in to take enemy fire onto, like, his helicopter. So they'd fire upon his helicopter, okay? And so they could get injured and troops out. And so they weren't being fired upon. So he was, like, putting his life. He was putting his life at risk by doing that. It was a very dangerous job. I'm sure William's a search and rescue helicopter pilot, but that was all for that was all a publicity stunt. Harry jumping in the pilot's seat, he probably wouldn't even know where the ignition switch was, you know. God help us if Harry's flying that bloody helicopter. That it showed how much he cared about the military when he got out, and he became it showed how much he cared when he got out, then rather than go to dinner to think about, like, fallen Marines, you know, rather than go to this, like, mess dinner, he decided to go to the Lion King premiere, the bloody Lion King premiere. This is, like, the one scene, as I said in my, like, last video. In fact, I don't know if you've heard that, you know, this could be the video that, the mic was off. So when Harry went to that Lion King premiere, and he's standing there with Meghan, and you know that because the camera's so far away, if we can hear it, Meghan can hear it. So she's, like, moseying on down the line. Hi, Beyonce. Hi, Jay-Z. You know, they couldn't give a flying crap about them, you know. So anyway, and then you hear Harry, to Bob Iger, Disney executive, begging him for work for Meghan. A royal prince begging for work for his wife. And he didn't just do it once, he did it twice. And she's smiling away, listening in, saying the right thing, Harry, or I'm going to beat you when you get home, you know. You know, as a member of the UK public, who heard that I wanted the ground to swallow up and then to fall in it. I've never been so embarrassed in my life that a British prince did that. I can't watch that clip again because it's so embarrassing. But there's tons of things that Harry's done has just been embarrassing. And we all used to put it down, oh, Harry the lad, you know. Or when, like, for example, when he wore the Nazi uniform, you know, he got excused for that when he should have been actually, like, shunned just for that, because it was disgusting. When he was caught in Vegas, photographed playing strip poker, and he was absolutely naked. We just put, oh, Harry the lad, you know. But there was one interview where I thought, Harry's just not a lad. Harry actually despises the UK. And in this interview he said, I absolutely hate England. And this was before he met Meghan. And I'm really shocked that no, like, tabloids of that picked this up, because saying that you absolutely hate the country that's gave you every privilege that you have is kind of a kick in the teeth, you know. And then Meghan comes along and she's got her little plan and she shares it with Harry, and because he hates England, so much, they form this little, like, James Bond villain plan to, like, leave and take as much as they can, and especially those titles, you know, with them. You know, because there's one thing they two will not give up, is them titles. They think we're racist, they hate us, but they love our titles. So let's see what else the Sussex Squad have said. Excuse me. Be informed, blah, blah, blah. Oh, the COVID pandemic. The Sussex Squad has been so powerful as a tool to defend the Sussexes. Alright, okay, they've called us Russian bots. Something that I've never heard anyone do anyway. So they say that they uplift each other, blah, 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 blah. So why has this community gone from strength to strength, despite all efforts from the powerful forces trying to destroy our movement? There are many reasons. Here are just a few. We come from a place of authenticity. So now we're going to get the word salad, you know. Meghan has fans from all walks of life. She really doesn't. She really doesn't have fans from all walks of life. She's got you lot. That's all. That's only fans she's got. You lot. Boozy. Scobie. And what's that other woman's name that's always, like, crying racism about anything? Oh, that Dr. Shola. Do you know that Dr. Shola? I watched her on an interview on Naomi Campbell's podcast. I love Naomi Campbell. OG supermodel, you know. And the topic of Sarah Everard came up. And do you know what that bloody Shola Campbell said? She said that the reason that they made such a hoo-ha about Sarah Everard's death was because she was a white woman. I was just sitting there stunned, absolutely stunned, that this woman, regardless of her colour, she was killed. She was killed. And how dare people make a song and dance about it or be outraged about it? And the only reason we were is because she was white. And then she went on to say, as you never hear of any black women dying in the newspapers or blah 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 or in the news. And Naomi went on to ask her, well, are there many black women dying? And Shola's answer, I don't know. Well, if you don't know, how do you know that many black women are dying, you stupid woman? And then how dare you blame the victim of a crime, the victim of a crime where she died, you know, on the fact that she was bloody white, you know. Like, see that Shola woman bloody just annoys me. She's just a race baiter to me. All she does is cry racism for absolutely everything. Anything to do with race on any like TV show or anything like that, you goddamn know that Chola's going to pop up. And you know what she's going to say, you know? Racism! So Megan has fans from all walks of life. As I said, no she doesn't. All she does is have views. The rest of us despise her. All races and all backgrounds across the globe. Now, she's got views, as I said again. She doesn't have many fans in England or Scotland or Wales or Ireland, I can tell you that much. In fact, I don't think she's got many fans anywhere. Without saying that part of her demographic is a black woman and a woman of colour. A black woman, a woman of colour who only chose to be black and a woman of colour when it suited her, okay? Because, like, on her IMDb page, she was down as Caucasian, and on her university in her university application, she ticked the Caucasian box. So Megan only chose to be black when it suited her. She chose to be black when she spotted that Prince Harry had a love of Africa and he was so happy there. So she chose to like join certain organisations, you know, that was like affiliated with him. Before that, Megan had done nothing. Absolutely nothing. Before the Soho set kind of people, when she became friends with that bloody idiot Trudeau and stuff like that, Megan had done absolutely nothing for women of colour. Nothing. In fact, she distanced herself as far as she could. I believe the reason a lot of women of colour jumped to her defence so quickly was because they recognised what was happening to her on a personal level. The way she was being depicted as a pushy, angry, and as a Jezebel. Well, I would describe someone who bullied 9 members of staff out of their jobs as a pushy, angry person. Jezebel, you know, she does jump from partner to partner that pushes her up the ladder. So you could technically say that she kind of is. I don't know. She tends to jump from man to man who can introduce her to people of a higher status and push her agenda up the ladder. So I wouldn't exactly call her Jezebel. I call her more a grifter. That, despite being nothing but excellent, she could do nothing right and was always wrong. This is something that women of colour, particularly black women in spaces where there are very few of us, have probably experienced at one level or another. So you just think that black women experience this? No. Many women experience this, not just black women, and to say this is just a black issue is absolutely wrong. I think regardless of what your race, most people have felt like the bullied underdog at one point or other during their lives and could relate to that watching a very powerful 300-year institution come down on a very sweet 300-year institution. The monarchy's older than 300 years. You know? What happened to, like, Henry Tudor and stuff like that? Do they just, like, not exist? You know? Like, oh yeah, just 300 years ago, just let's scribble the history books, you know? Who's Anne Boleyn? Who's Catherine of Aragon? Who's Jane Parr, you know? Henry the Tudor? Who's that? You know, I've never heard of them. Mary Squeak, Queen of Scots? Who the hell is she, you know? Her son became the first King of Scotland and England. What? Nah, he didn't exist. The monarchy's only been around for 300 years. God, you people are so stupid. You know, like, he's come up with some great points. Then you just, like, prove how dumb you really are. Dumb. It's like in the last letter, the hate letter that you said that we were all jealous because we wanted the palaces, we wanted the golden carriages, which I'm so annoyed you removed that. We wanted the golden carriages, we wanted he's tried to say the stolen jewels, because, and I know that you were doing that towards slavery, you know. And I've already made my point about slavery. Slavery has been going on from the dawn of time. The dawn of time. Wasn't just Africans that were slaved. The Romans enslaved people of Europe. The Middle Eastern tribes of their times, I suppose, or continents, enslaved everyone who would probably countries around the Black Sea, so we would have had and it was only white people. So in the Middle East, you were only enslaved if you were white. So Bulgaria, Romania, Russia, Ukraine, should they all be asking the Middle Eastern countries for reparations? UK, as I said before, we had the Vikings, so should we be asking reparations from Norway? Nah. Africa. Should Africa be asking reparations from their own country? Because after all, it was the rich Africans who would steal, and they done this practice even before white people even came anywhere near the country. They would steal people away from their families and enslave them. What about Spain and Portugal? They were the first people to land in Jamaica, and by the time the British even got there, slavery had already existed. You know, there were already slaves there. So why aren't they being asked for reparations? Why is it only the British, you know? And then you all seem to forget that the British were the ones that, like, went and stopped slavery. Like, I could go on and on about this, but I won't. But yeah, so she says that all the UK citizens wanted all these things like the crown jewels and that. But what they don't seem to understand is, see all those things like the palaces, the crown jewels, that gold carriage and that, they already, we can't want something that already belongs to us. The crown jewels belong to the British people. The palaces belong to the British people. Even that golden bloody carriage belongs to the British people. The Queen and monarch and royal family are caretakers of these items. So, crack open a history book and do some reading, you bunch of bloody morons. I'm just so annoyed that they removed that letter because it had so much juicy details on it about why they think we're haters. And they hadn't even updated that website since before COVID, and all of a sudden now it's gone? Coincidence? I think not. We are not herd of sheep. There is no shepherd. The old saying goes, blah, blah, blah. The Sussex Squad are not a monolith. I've seen numerous attempts by so-called student researchers to contact the squad. Can you not pick a bloody better name for yourselves? The Squad, as if you're a band of bloody superheroes. I've seen journalists joining live chats on the Squad podcast trying to ask questions. I'm sure there are people in the Squad who have been low-key contacted by members of the press to snitch on our inner circle. Well, your inner circle did. I don't know which one it was. I know there's like two of them. I think their names are Tina and Michelle or whatever. One of them went off, and she was like, "Any of you come here and do anything to me, I'm gonna kill you. You touch a hair of my child's head out, your child won't live to grow." She's basically threatening to murder our children. My response to you is, come to Scotland or England, Wales, blah blah, Northern Ireland. Come here. Come to Scotland, and you try and harm a child here. I can guarantee you this. You, for example, if you even tried to harm a hair on my lovely child's head, you would be met with something called a Glasgow kiss. And it's not a nice little peck in the cheek. You'd be headbutted right in the face. You might even get a little Glasgow smile, But, yeah, I dare you. I'd actually dare you. I would pay your flights for you to come over here and try to harm one of our children. Try it. Because anyone threatens a British child, and you will see the wrath of the British people come out. How dare you accuse us of wanting to harm your children, or wanting to harm you, and then twist it around to say that you'll never allow us to see our children grow, which is basically a threat of so if you don't see a child grow, that's a threat of murder. So I bet you just try it and see what happens, because I can guarantee you'll be hobbling back to America with broken legs. So as for you saying you are the most pleasant people in the world, and you are the most nicest and sweetest, you aren't. And that rant only went on to prove it. So far everyone has stayed on code, and those who have gone over to the dark side, God, as if we're dun 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 dun, as if we're all wearing stormtrooper outfits, and the Meghan supporters are all Princess Leia, So yeah, and those who have gone over to the dark side have been called. It is a lot more difficult to infiltrate a movement when you have clusters of groups as open to one big group. Well, your group has been infiltrated, sorry to inform you. How do you think that we found out that Omid Scobie was trying to take down Yankee Wally? One of your group members, or someone who knows their name, infiltrated your group, then came back and told and told us, you know. There's been numerous members of people in your group who have came back and said that the conversations that go on are just pure spiteful and hateful and stuff like that. So if you think your group is all locked up and secure like a bank, it's not. Different platforms. We are inspired by a great role model. Just look at what we do when we come together. Sussex Squad podcast. They've done a 2-hour podcast. Blah, blah, blah. Good for yous. There is blah, blah, blah. Megan with her numerous humanitarian projects, and Harry with his Invictus and Centre Valley. Right, let's talk about Harry and Invictus and Centre Valley. Do you know that a little girl was rescued, and as a baby she'd been horrifically abused? Something like I can't even say it, but something that should never, ever, ever happen to a child. And I'm not just talking beat and sear. I think we all can guess what that is. Horribly sick. Yeah, I nearly said it there. She'd been horribly, horribly abused. And Harry promised this little girl that he would always help her, that he would always be there for her. She'd been traumatised, just horrendously abused. Do you know that little girl? One payment of, I think it was £21 or something like that. But if it was more, it's not much more. Off of Harry from Centre Valley. And he promised that he'd help put her through school and stuff like that. Do you know, after that, the little girl heard nothing from Harry. Even though she wrote him letters asking for help, because she's only 12 now. She's living in a 1-bedroom shack. Doesn't have money to feed herself and stuff like that. And she's been and tried to write to Harry to ask him, where's this help you promised me? You promised me as a babe, as a child, you'd look after me. And he's done nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. He ignored her. After all, to him it was a great story, a great photo op that I'd saved this young baby from this horrible abuse. But once that was over and done with, Harry couldn't give a shit. He just couldn't. He moved on, didn't he? As for Invictus games, just like his plagiarising wife, that wasn't an original idea. Harry stole that from America. He went over and he watched the Warrior games. And his little dumb mind, because Harry is pretty stupid. How can I capitalise off of this? I know, let's rebrand it as something else and we'll call it the Invictus Games and bring it to Britain. So that's how that all came about. So that's just saying that he's for his humanitarian projects. It's not very humanitarian what Harry did to that little African girl, is it? These people claim to love, and like you, Sussex Squad, claim to love black people so much. Why don't you raise some money and help this bloody child that Harry abandoned? You know? Why don't you do something nice for her? Because her life hasn't got any better. She lives with trauma. She's not had any counselling. Nothing. She's 12-year-old. She's living in a bloody hut. Not even a hut, a shack. With no prospects in life. So you think you are doing good. Why don't you help the people that Harry left behind? Then you maybe doing some good. So they cannot say about the other royals. Their version of service is living in the gilded life and showing up to events for an hour and waving and cutting ribbons. Again, not true. Not bloody true. They created the Earthshot Prize, William, who's dedicated to saving the planet. And he raised money for the winner. They also, Catherine also done a book during the pandemic when she invited members of the public to take pictures. And some of the pictures are pretty heartbreaking because it's like children visiting their grandparents behind like a glass window, and they're just so happy to see them, but they can't touch them and stuff like that. And all the money from that book went towards the COVID relief fund, you know. So that she wasn't out just cutting ribbons. She also went out after Sarah Everard got killed. And she did it with one protection officer, and she was so incognito about it, but she was recognised. But because of the event, no one went up and asked for pictures or you know, because it just wasn't the right time or place. And she went up and she paid her respects, you know. So that wasn't about recognition or cutting bloody ribbons or anything like that. She did that because a woman walking home was killed. She was killed because a police officer who was off duty stopped her, pretended that he still was on duty, told her that she was breaking COVID rules, handcuffed her, put her in the back of his car, and then after that, our hell started. So yeah, Catherine chose to show respects for that. Shola, however, that Dr. Shola just moaned that it was a white woman who died, you know. How dare this white woman steal the limelight? She's bloody dead, Shola, you know. Have a bit of bloody compassion. It isn't anyone's fault what colour they're born. Take that up with God, you know. God's the one that decides. We can't choose what sex we're born. We cannot choose what colour we're born. So, yeah. You cannot say the same about otherwise, blah, blah, blah. All of that and more is why the Sussex Squad is undefeated and why we will go from strength to strength. Well, I'm going to make it my life's mission to find every nook and cranny about all the disgusting vile things that yous have done and expose yous to chink away at your armour slowly but surely. I know I'm only a one-person army at this moment. Well, I'm not, because other people are sick of yous as well. But on particularly my channel, like, I'm a one-person army, but I'm making it my life's mission to chink away at that armour and expose you lot for who you truly are. Evil, vindictive, nasty trolls. Alright guys, I'm going to get going now. My throat, as you can hear, is absolutely killing me. But I did want to come on and do that hate letter, but unfortunately it's been removed. Maybe we can have a look at the next time at Megan's Christmas guide. You know? I don't know. But, No, in fact, I think next time we're going to have a look at some of the tweets. Some of the tweets put out by the Sussex Squad. Because this isn't on their website, so they can't delete it. And some of the hateful things that they have put out. Well, I hope that this sounds okay this time. And I'm really, 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 really sorry about the last video. And unfortunately, I can't redo it because, as I said, they've removed the letter. But thank you all for listening, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and thank you. Okay, goodbye.